So welcome back to the social class. The previous class will start the geography for class 8 chapter 5 and that was the industry, and here we found some of the important component for the setup of the industry and difference between industry factory, especially regarding on the production process, as well as we found the primary sector, secondary sector and tertiary sector and their components like the raw materials, especially like the marine products, like agro-based product, like mineral-based product. So the things we already completed. So in the industry in chapter 5, the remaining topic today we'll cover it. So we'll come to the point. So as per that, today I will start with the first point, that is the factor affecting location of industry, and there we'll study on the industrial system and industrial region. And the second topic, that will be the distributions of the major industry in India as well as in the world. And third one, cotton textile industry. And the fourth one, the information technology, which is a boost industry, especially at this present moment. Now we'll go to the one by one. So as per that, the first point, factor affecting the location of the industry. Now, what are the factors affecting for the location of the industry? The industry cannot be set up in any place in anywhere. For that, they need a particular area. Like suppose the industry will be not set up in the marketplace area. The industry will be not set up in where the populations are very high. So industry will be not set up where the peoples are living more there. So actually, when the governments are granted to set up of the industry, that they need to take a clearance for the clearance from the forest department. And as well as we already found that when the industries are set up, it will be not affected the environment as well as the people. Though today we found that many industries are there, either small scale industry, big industry, medium industry or the heavy industry. So those all industries are already set up the way back in 1970s, 80s or 60s. So during those time population was very low. So it may be the industries are set up here and there. But another factor, when we found on the industry, it attracted more people. And when it attracted more people, the peoples are migrated from the rural area to the urban center area where the industries are set up. And automatically in that particular area and zones, the populations are rising day by day, one after another. So that is a major cause today. We found that like country like in India, we found a major effectings of the air pollutions, water pollutions and land pollutions. So those are due to the created by the industrial sector. So I'm not saying that all the industries are bad, but especially like the chemicals and fertilizer industries are very harmful for the land, especially flora and fauna. So now the governments, they have a conscious about to set up of the industry that should not be affected to the overall. That means especially you can say that it's a flora and fauna. Now as per the past topic, it is the factor affecting locations of the industry, which I said the industrial system. Now what are their system? When the industries are set up, that the governments are assured that it will be not affecting to the environment. Like we found, like water pollutions, land pollutions, air pollutions. When their productions are mass, when productions are more there, from their chimney, the smokes are rising. And due to their abundant releasings of the smoke, like carbon monoxide, like carbon dioxide, it's created an environmental factor, especially for the air pollutions. Like another problem, so water pollutions. Now how it's affected to the water pollutions due to the industry? Especially after their production process, especially that drainage, that outlets are connected nearby the river. So when their outlets are connected nearby the river or the stream, they flow to the water, and especially it's affected more on the aquatic animals, like the land pollutions. In the land pollutions, when the industries are set up there, when the populations are increasing day by day, and due to their mixings of some chemical and fertilizer for their productions, and that indulge in the land. And ultimately, when the movements are more there, when the vehicles are come more there, when the populations are increasing more there, automatically in that area the lands are affected more there. And today we found that, like you already know, that the India is the second largest populous country in the world. So due to that cause, our lands are very limited, and as well as our transformations, like the industries and factories are increasing day by day. So we are not against the setup of the industry and factory. The industry and factories are the main backbone for the economy, especially for the GDP. So if the countries have to be developed, that we need to be encourage the industry. But that industry should not be affected to the environment and the people of that particular area. And as well as we also found that, like today we are emphasizing more on the solar system. Today we are emphasizing more which we get from the nature, like today we are giving importance on the hydroelectricity power instead of thermal power. Today we are giving more importance on the solar system instead of which we are using in earlier phase. So the governments are looking for the alternative way which they can be make and use more easy for the people, that we can say them as the sustainable development. So as per that, which I refers that regarding on the factor affecting locations of the industry, first point, it is the industrial system. So on the industrial system, which I refers that when industries are set up there, they need some criteria from the government side and for the ownership. In the previous class, we already studied on private sector, public sector, joint sector and cooperative sector. There are different sectors there which they have to be operated as per the sector. So as per their norms, the industrial system, when they are set up the industry, what the first point they need, if you have more money, if you like to be set up the industry, first you need a land where you can be constructed a big industry, big buildings. Without buildings, you are unable to set up a machinery. So that means first you need a land. So after the land, and we have to set up the building. And building will set up by themselves? No. For that we need a people. For that we need a labor. So the second point will be the labor. So labor will be work on there. So after the constructions of the building, again they need a machinery to be set up. And that machineries need to be set up and operating by the labor, by the people, by manually. So the second point will be the labor. The third point, the road connectivity. The industries are set up, like for example, if I give the examples of in Zero. If the industries are set up in Talevele, so if the roads are not connected properly, so whatever produced there, it will be not sold to the market, it will not bring to the market area, then how we can say them as industry. So the road connectivity and road network systems are very important for the industries, so that they can be supply what they have produced, and when they need a raw material, they can bring from the other estate or from the power plant area. The fourth point is the marketing system. So industry means they have to produce, the primary sectors can be transformed into the secondary sector, and they simply keep them into the go down. So there is no meaning. So for that they need a market. Whatever they are produced, they want to be sold into the market. And when they are sold into the market, they are bringing money. That means profit. So suppose in the primary sector, like you are collecting a cotton from the plant. So that cottons are brought into the industry and you are producing them into the cloth in secondary. And after producing the cloth, if you keep into your home, it will be work. No. So after producing that cloth, you need to be selling in the market, sold into the market. People should be purchased that. Then only you will bring a profit. Like for example, you are bringing one new cloth. After bringing a new cloth, if you simply keep that cloth into the box, so if you never wear that cloth, so what is the meaning of purchasing of that new cloth? So same thing is that for that you need a industry, you need a market where you can be sold your commodity, so that people can be purchased and income can be generated. So that's are the four important points, especially on the industrial system. Beside that, they need like the capital. The capital means not the state capital, okay? The capital means money. So money is the most important here. So if you have money, then only you can be established industry. Without money, if you have land, you have a manpower, you have a road connectivity, it will not work. First, you need money so that you can purchase a machinery, you can pay a labor, their salary, you can invest on the new ideas, new innovations, then only it can be possible. Otherwise, without the money, that means capital, it's very difficult. So land, labor, capital, these three factors are very important to set up there, especially in economy. We say them as factors of productions. So after that, the industrial region, the second point. When it refers to the industrial region, like in India, we have a more industrial regions, where like in the Calcutta, especially when the Hooghly-based industries are there, like in Maharashtra, marine-based industries are there. Especially, we already know that in Maharashtra, cottons are grown more there. So due to that, was more help there. And another things like Calcutta, Mumbai, Madras. So those all areas are come under the industrial regions, where the industries and factories are more there. That's which we can say them as the congregations. So that is the industrial area that come in India. But if you like example, when we say the industrial country like Japan, USA, Germany, France, so those are the industrial country where the productions are more there. They set up the industries. And after that, the next point, that is the distributions of the major industry, which I already represented. The major industries are concentrated especially in the developed country, like you can say as Japan, you can say as China. So that's are already developed country. Due to the industrial sector, their GDPs are very high. That means their incomes are high for the peoples, and they are giving industry so important that they, when the industries are set up there, at least they can feed off their member. Like for example, which I refers, the lands are abundant, but if the lands are unproductive, then they will unable to produce anything there. Like for example, the Sahara Desert, like in Rajasthan in India, they have land, but the lands are not fertile. It's difficult to grow any crops. So for that, alternatively, they set up the industry and factory, and through that, they're generating the income to livelihood. That's come under the distributions of the major industry in India, and in your textbook also it's giving like the examples of the Ahmedabads and Pittsburghs, comparing to the Ahmedabad in India for the productions of the cotton, and like they comparing to the Bangalore, which are very famous for the industrial, IT sector, and with that like Silicon Valley of India and Silicon Valley of USA. Silicon Valley of India's are like Bangalore. So Silicon Valley of the US's are Pittsburghs. Especially they are emphasizing on the technology. And third point, that is the cotton textile industry. As we already know that the cotton textile industries are very important, and for the first time in India, it was set up in 1854. All during those time, we already know that in 1853, the first railway track was set up in India, and it started to be exporting and importing the raw material for power plant area. And why the railways are important, and why the road networking systems are important? Because particularly if you set up one industry in that particular region, you are unable to be produce more and more for the future, because the resources are exhausted. So for that, if you are connected the route, that means you can be collected from the power plant area and bring into the main center in the industry. So the railways are set up exactly for that, especially for the movements of the people as well as for the commodity to be transported. And it was set up there, and the first cotton textile industry was set up in the Maharashtra, because Maharashtra, the climatic factors are very suitable for the growth of the cotton. Like their lands are, their soils are black in color, where they can be produce more cotton. Their climatic factors are very suitable, like humid climate, labors are get more there from the neighboring state. So the cotton industry first time set up in the Maharashtra, and it is very helpful to the people of the country, because those who are unemployment, those who are landless, they are giving them job. And today still the Maharashtras are #1 producing country, especially for the any cotton goods. And the last topic for today, and that will be the information technology. we are giving at this present moment information technologies are the basic need for the everyone. Today we are unable to dependent on traditional method of productions. Today we are not giving the importance on which traditional our forefathers are practicing. Like for example, the agriculture also. In agriculture sector, you may find that today also in our own locality, the peoples are using spade, peoples are using cow for plugging. But the most of the developed state and developed country, we found they are using the tractor, thresher machine. That means the new technology. So when it refers to the information technology, it's come under technology, no doubt. But at the present moment, the information technologies are the basic technology. Like today we are using the cell phone. Today we are giving more importance on the information technology, like using of the internet. So those time it may be very difficult, but today present moment is very easy. Like whatever you like, directly you can search into the Google engine. So Wikipedia. So all those things are very helping to us to be learn. So if you are read the article, if you read, if you watch the television, if you watch, read the newspaper, you may find a different stories which they are inspiring from the technology like YouTube, which they are learning from there. So that's really helping to us to be know what the others are know, and from there through that internet, through that video, we are easy to be learn on that. So for today, that much only there, and if you have any doubt, any confusion, so you can be ask me. And this chapter 5 is that complete. And after watching this video, so if you have any doubt, you can ask me, no doubt. And the remaining will go for the another chapter by the next class. Thank you.